Have you ever asked AI for help with a lecture and you get back a wall of polished nonsense that sounds generic, bloated, and nothing like the way you actually teach? If your AI outputs are sounding awkward, shallow, or just off, the problem may not be the tool, it may be your setup. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your system instructions so your AI understands your standards, respects your tone, and gives you outputs that are actually usable in higher education. I'm Chris, the AI professor, and I'm here to help educators make sense of AI so you can use it with confidence in your classroom. Think of using an LLM or a large language model like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, like bringing in a guest lecturer. If you just say, "Hey, I want you to come and teach my class," you're gambling on the results. They may be too casual, they may skip the main points, they may ramble through for an entire hour and say basically nothing. If you leave your syllabus, you tell them the level of your student, you give them a goal of the lecture and your expectations, you're much more likely to get something useful. That's what system instructions are. They're basically the faculty handbook for your AI before it says its first word. People using AI often make the mistake of either skipping the setup entirely or they're going to cram it full of task-specific instructions. Your baseline instructions are not supposed to turn every chat into course prep. Instead, they're supposed to tell the AI how to work with you, how to sound, how to reason, how to format, and what to avoid. Then later, if you want a curriculum designer or you want AI to act as your grading assistant, that's when you build a specialist. So let me show you what actually belongs in your baseline instructions, and just as importantly, what doesn't. There are 5 things I think professors should include in their baseline system instructions. The first is your professional identity. The second, your tone. The third, your formatting preferences. The fourth, your reasoning standards. And lastly, your boundaries. I put all 5 of those in a free handout with simple language. You can get it by clicking on the link in the description. You don't have to pause this video and write all those things down because it's available to you for free. The short version is this. Your baseline instructions should tell your AI who you are, how you want it to sound, how you want that information it gives you back structured, how you want it to reason, and most importantly, I think, is what you want it to avoid. And if you use AI for both work and your personal life, I'm going to let you know that you really need to keep those baseline instructions fairly broad. You're going to use them to shape your overall interaction, not to turn every one of your chats into a course preparation. Then for more specific jobs, like say using your AI for curriculum design, help you with your grading, grant writing, that's where separate specialist spaces make more sense. And I'll cover that in a separate video. So let me show you what this looks like in ChatGPT. First, go to Settings, then go to Personalization. At the top, you'll see Base Style and Tone. This affects the general feel of ChatGPT's responses, but it does not change the model's actual capabilities. So if you want the system to sound a little warmer, more direct, or more neutral overall, this is where that starts. Next, you'll see Instant Answers. ChatGPT says these are fast, in-depth answers that use general knowledge and do not use your memory. The section I really want you to focus on is custom instructions, and this is where you set your baseline. This is where you shape how ChatGPT works with you across all your chats. So I might put something like this. I want to define things like tone, structure, reasoning standards, and what the tool should avoid. Under that, you'll see About You with things like nickname and occupation. You can fill these out if you want ChatGPT to have a little more standing context about who you are. But personally, I would treat this as optional. Lastly, you'll see memory. This is where ChatGPT can remember useful things about you across chat, either through saved memories or by referencing parts of your past chat history. OpenAI says saved memories are for details you want it to keep in mind, while chat history lets it use relevant information from earlier conversations to make future responses more personalized. That can be helpful, but as a professor, I would be intentional here. If you use the same account for both work and your personal life, memory can start blending context in ways you may not want. An example, like your travel plans or your personal preferences in old chats can start shaping later responses. OpenAI also notes that saved memories stay available until you delete them. And turning memory off does not automatically erase what was already remembered. So for me, this is less about whether memory is good or bad and more about whether I want this account acting like a shared brain for everything. The last thing I want to show you is data controls. If you're using a personal ChatGPT workspace, look for improve the model for everyone. OpenAI says that if you turn this off, your conversations will not be used to train ChatGPT. That setting applies across your account, not just one device. For professors, that matters. So if you're working with student-related material like feedback on grades, your internal notes, or anything professionally sensitive, you should at least know where this setting lives and make a deliberate choice. I'm not telling you to treat this like some magical compliance shield because it's not. But it is one of the first privacy settings I would review before using the tool heavily for your professional work. If something's more sensitive, OpenAI says a temporary chat isn't saved in your history, it doesn't create memories, and it's not used to train the model. This is the baseline. It tells ChatGPT how to sound, how to structure responses, how to reason, and what to avoid. If you want the handout with the 5 things to include in your custom instructions, remember I linked that below. In the next video, I'll show you how to build specialist spaces for real faculty tasks like curriculum design, grading support, and course preparation. If you want practical videos on using AI in higher education without all the hype and nonsense, please consider subscribing. And in the comments, tell me one thing you would want AI to stop doing in your outputs. See you in the next video.